Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science. Science jerks.
Welcome to Science Jerks. This is Chacho. I'm here with my co-host Chan.
Hi.
What's up, Chan?
Hey.
We're gonna do another episode.
Yeah, we are. Oh, I thought you were just going to go right into the guest, and so I was like, yeah, okay, that's me. Let's move
I
on.
just thought I'd see if you wanted to do a show.
No.
Since we're here with mics.
Well, since we're here and everything's
headphones,
turned on, then
a dude sitting here at the table that hasn't been introduced.
Hour making all the levels right, then yeah, let's do this.
All right, we'll do a show. We have with us a stand-up comedian, improviser, and comedy writer of sketch comedy and performance. And is that all of the comedy things you can do?
I think that's all the ones I do anyway.
Dan Banas, welcome to the show.
Hey, good to be here.
I feel like that should have been like an applause break. I feel like we need to get one of those soundboards.
We need to get.
It's kind of sad because you really ramped it up, and then when you just have a name, it just sits there.
No, I see you. I see you looking for it. I see you going through your iPad looking for it. And I just
know
muted
I've got sound effects
I
on
muted
this
it because immediately after saying that, I was like, "No, what have you been doing lately?"
Well, I was not a lot. I did a little writing. I did some tutoring. Am I supposed to say what projects I did?
Your afternoon.
Project.
What'd you have for dinner?
Well, I actually had a show, last night at the Wrangle. My group, Twilight Zone Prov. We won for the third time in a row at the Wrangle.
Nice. What is Twilight Zone Prov?
Twilight Zone Prov is a form and a group. A bunch of people are in it, but I'm not going to say their names in case I forget one and people get angry.
Just tell us the ones you like in the group.
Yeah. Well, that's a very, very short list. A very not a likable group of people. But no, we do a form. It's pretty fun because you just start doing a scene, and then someone comes out as Rod Serling because all the back line is Rod Serling's. And they come out and
does everybody
add
dress
a
as Rod
twist.
Serling?
Yes,
Oh.
we started dressing a couple weeks ago.
Do you get to smoke cigarettes?
I thought about it, but I just said it'd be better if we did just mimed cigarettes, scene work cigarettes.
I guess.
E-cigarettes.
There are
Ooh.
yeah, but I honestly just thought it would be like kind of more of a show that way.
More improv.
More improv.
dork
I don't like
if
to
you
throw
don't
too
have
many props into my improv.
Stand-up cigarette, improv cigarette. Stand-up cigarette, improv cigarette.
What's that?
You realize it's already called Twilight
It
Zone Prov.
is really
so.
sticky already. But it's fun because you throw twists in and people seem to like it. So
All right.
that's good. Yeah.
Dig that.
I'm doing 11th hour, I think, tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This will be wildly out of date by the time it happens.
Oh, well, I'll do it again someday.
But go to the 11th hour anyway, just cause.
Yeah.
Just cause.
It's a good show.
Zoopathology.
Chacho here with Chan and Dan Banas again, and this just popped up last week. A fisherman in Argentina caught a three-eyed fish in a nuclear power plant cooling lake.
All right, hold on. Hold on. Before we even get to that, which sounds effing ridiculous, he's a fisherman. So naturally he's going to tell the tale of the three-eyed fish that got away.
Fortunately, this one did not get away because these are the gruesome pictures of it on Google image search.
Good God.
It is terrifying looking.
I don't think any of his eyes are in the right place.
Green monster with three giant eyes.
That are sort of in the same place as the cartoon fish from The Simpsons.
It's uncanny. Yeah.
It's the one like right in the middle, and one's on the side. And
It's exactly Blinky the Fish from The Simpsons, which they first coined, I think, in like 89 or 90. I mean, Blinky the Fish has been around from season 1, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably 1990.
I think Marge tried to feed it to Mr. Burns in the first season. So they predicted this thing how many seasons? 27 seasons ago?
24.
It's a wolf fish, whatever that is.
are they sure it's not just like a fish that actually exists that just doesn't come, like at the bottom of the sea, that just doesn't come up very often.
The
like
three-eyed
giant squid. Kind
So
of
there's.
thing.
Do you think there's a whole civilization of three-eyed fish down there that just have?
There are fish down there that ain't got no foreheads. They
Well,
got
maybe down in
transparent foreheads
in
that
the
you can see their
Wild stuff.
brain.
Marianas Trench, but not in some little cooling lake in Argentina. Like cooling lakes
Oh, it's like a
are
little lake.
Right.
It's not like
are built lakes.
I thought it was just like
right?
washed up on the sea or something.
Right.
I mean, I haven't
it's built
seen-
for the nuclear power plant.
I would assume so. Like they usually are, although not necessarily. I mean, you could use a lake that's already there, but most
Who's
of the
putting
Even
fish into
so.
a friggin' cooling lake anyway? Then, like, are they? They're like, well, we got the water here. Why not
well,
just?
there's fish
stab
in
the
man-made lakes.
You got to
Yeah.
put them in there
I
to
mean-
fish.
Actually,
from.
you don't have to stock. Like
They just spontaneously
I-
generate.
yeah,
Is
they
that
well,
just like
I would think, once it's made, it could-
birds and other animals will, stock them
fish over, then
over
drop
time.
them over.
They put them on their backs.
right. They
And
just
they
shuttle them
hold on
over.
really tight.
Right.
Well, you
they call
could
them
see,
coyotes.
you
They
know-
call fish coyotes.
Sometimes they string a whole bunch of fish between two birds and carry them over like that.
I could see maybe a stream kind of making its way, over time, and
Over the time it took them to build a nuclear power plant, the stream's just gonna.
it's just a tiny little trickle, even.
Right, but that's a wolffish. That is a. that is
In the
a-
Midwest, I grew up in Illinois, and there all along the interstates, there's man-made lakes all up and down the state because they needed to dig out for whatever raw materials they were using for the freeway. And you could fish in all of them, and they don't stock them. They don't go around and dump fish into them, but there's fish in them.
Really?
Life will find a way.
Hey, don't feel
No,
It's
it could
like
happen.
if you put like a drop of water on your knuckle and you don't know which direction it's gonna. That's
Well, it's not like it has a concrete
chaos, man.
floor or anything, I mean...
What? Say what? Say that again. Say that again.
It's not like it has a concrete
so the fish.
So you're saying the fish are
burrow.
digging?
like prison style from one lake to the next.
This is Shawshank Redemption, is
You
what
don't
you're
know
saying.
what's happening underneath.
There are
No,
scary.
we don't. But we're pretty sure that it's not that.
Probably not. Oh, there are underwater aquifers, but I don't
There
think
you
that
go.
there are a lot of catfish that swim through them from lake to
Could
lake.
be a few.
There are those
what kind
lungfish.
Is it a catfish?
This is a wolf fish, the one in Argentina. And I don't know what this lake is. This is all a moot topic because there's no pictures of the lake anywhere. It might have just been there.
Oh damn it! Is this going to turn out to be a hoax? Like some special effects guy just like got a fish and just
This is a fucking
Popped a little
good
hole
Photoshop job, if that's what it is, because it's scary looking.
I'm saying, like an Argentinian fisher, he doesn't have a lot to live for. One day because they're watching old season 1 reruns of Simpsons down there because they just got them. They're like, holy shit, I could do that. I could sell it to the Weekly World News, make
Do you know
a
how
tiny little
many
profit.
how many wolf fish you have to sell to get the newest upgrade pack of Photoshop? So many wolf fish.
Evolutionology.
Lice. Who doesn't love talking about lice? This is Chan here with Chacho and Dan Banas. And
Was that rhetorical, or did you want us to answer that? Who doesn't?
no, it's
Well,
cool. Well, okay.
don't really like lice. I'll go right out and say it.
This is the sort of story that really interests me because those studies that you hear about, like, oh, we did a study and found out that tortoises move slowly or something like that. And, the backwards, podunk senators like, we don't need to fund science because they're doing stupid things like that. But when you actually look into the study, it turns out that they're studying something, more interesting than
Really
that.
cool about how tortoises move slowly.
Or, well, no, like that'll be like sort of the result. But in fact, they're studying like the cardiovascular system of the turtle, which turns out to have, applications elsewhere and whatnot. So when we talk about lice, like what is interesting about lice, they're just things that are in your hair, and so what they're a pain in the ass, and you have to get combs and shampoos and whatnot.
So the really dirty kid in third grade was doing some sort of study.
Yes,
I'm to assume.
Really his name was Henry
Advancing
Ewing.
science. Is this him? Is this what he grew up to do?
Yes. What he did was he took lice, he took them off a spider monkey and another monkey, and in the interest of science, put them on himself and let the lice drink from him. And what he found out was they died because lice very quickly evolve to be parasitic specifically to whatever species they're on. And what you can do with that is then you can trace, in some respects, the evolution of a species by the parasites on them, because
They literally get addicted to the blood of the animal that their
body can only process
riding along with.
that specific kind of thing, because they're like that's Eskimos are really good at living up north, and you drop an Eskimo in the tropics and he's not going to be happy.
So any single lice or lie, I don't know what's it.
Lice, louse, and
louse.
lice.
That's
Eskimo
right.
vampire would have
That's
been a
right,
better
louse.
example, I think.
Yes, that's what.
So any single louse is what can only suck blood from one species, or
basically, yeah. And what you
just
can
one
do,
guy.
right? That's
what you
just
can
don't taste as good as the other monkey I was on last week.
most animals will have one kind of louse on their whole body, because you got fur all over, and so you can travel from the tip of your head to the bottom of your feet, cuddle around your nuts and just kind of hang out and be happy anywhere. But because
That's where I'd hang out.
yes, that's right. I hang out around my nuts. We have hair on our heads, hair on our crotch, and then just sort of like all around our body. What they found is that there's actually 3 different kinds of lice, and even more than that.
You mean non-humans?
Yeah, 3 different species.
There's like
of lice.
crotch
Hair
lice
lice.
is different than head
Yes.
lice. Well,
Or-
crotch lice is crabs, right?
Well, yeah, that is.
I don't.
What,
Is that the same?
yes,
Oh.
yes, but they've also found that there are different species of lice on the head genetically. You kind of look at them; they kind of look the same.
By the race of the person?
Not by the race,
By how good
of the
their hair
person,
is?
but tracing it genetically.
The
They
haircut?
think that
Are there mullet lice? And
yes,
Spike
yes,
lice?
there are. And there's moose louse. There's a moose louse. I was in my head. It rhymed, and then when I started to say it, I'm like, oh wait, nope, that's not gonna
Not
work.
quite.
Pull back. Don't abandon pun. Abandon.
It's a soft rhyme.
let me just get in. Duck's ass lice? All right, continue. It's a hairstyle.
Yeah, they found that there are different kinds of lice based geographically. Like at some point, there were multiple species of hominids that crossed over or got together, and then their descendants are hanging around us still. They have found...
The ones that won?
Yes.
The ones that kicked the asses of all the other hominids?
At some point, Homo sapiens had sex with other hominids, and then those hominids died out. And what remains? They're lice.
And nice Neanderthals came with their peace offering, and we clubbed them to death.
And
then
skull
stole
fucked
their
them.
lice.
Still their lice right off there.
Oh, maybe if we didn't skull fuck the Neanderthals, we wouldn't have gotten their crabs.
That
Oddly
wouldn't
enough,
make us who we are today, though.
the lice in the pubic hair, not the same lice as on the head, and where they have traced it to is a species of gorilla, which sort of
Which one?
Wait.
species of
pubic
gorilla.
head?
No,
pubic
the
lice
pubic lice came from a gorilla?
came from a species of gorilla. You might think that somebody
Somebody fucked a gorilla?
frisky with a gorilla, but I think it is more likely.
I'm sure somebody's fucked a gorilla.
I'm sure somebody has, but I'm pretty sure
Right.
that all of the crabs that have descended to the entire human race didn't come from there. More likely, kind of like the story, like
I'm not as
AIDS.
sure as
Yeah,
you are
I was
of
gonna
that.
say. It seems like every horrible thing comes back
from
to someone having intercourse with an ape.
Well,
Actually,
here's the thing.
I don't want to encourage people to go listen to Radio Lab, an excellent science
that's what I'm
podcast,
about
but
to
they were talking about AIDS not coming from fucking a monkey.
Yeah, I
Yes,
heard that.
that's what I'm
recently.
getting to.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get there faster.
Yeah.
Because AIDS is a bloodborne disease, I think it is
Right.
more likely that somebody was killing a monkey for food or whatever, and the blood transfusion there. So what they think that more likely that's where we got our crab lice from the gorilla. And body lice are actually clothing lice. They don't
Chopping
actually-
up gorillas?
I mean,
Yes.
it makes way more sense
This
that
is a-
someone was fighting or killing a gorilla.
Right.
But I like that the first thing we go to is someone had sex with it.
We are a sexy species.
where's
We like
Well,
having
in
sex.
your mind, if you have to picture how someone's pubic hair came in contact with the gorilla, one of the first possible hypotheses is bound to have something to do with.
I don't know about you, Dave, but I
Sexual.
would much rather kill a gorilla than have sex with it. Much
Why
rather.
does it have to be mutually exclusive?
I
I'm
think that
saying-
my way is more efficient, is all I'm saying.
Do you know how to please a gorilla? Are you you skilled?
Well, you have to take care of her needs first.
Who says it's got to be a her? Why you got to be all
Homophobe.
I don't
heterocentric
touch
like
gorilla dudes.
that? I draw the line. I'm okay with human dudes having sex with human dudes,
And an
but-
entire pantheon of other animals, but not male gorillas. Line drawn.
Just a host.
Jan and Dave here, talking stem cells, mouse stem cells,
Ooh, the tastiest of stem cells.
because you can only do so much. Ew. Really? Do you eat mice generally? Before we even get into the issue of stem cells,
I'm not-
which are teeny tiny.
I never said I
mean, like you
eat
talking
mice.
caviar is really small.
I am a foodie, sir.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell you
Mm-hmm.
that mouse stem cells better.
Where do you get mouse stem cells?
than duck stem cells?
Where do you get duck stem cells?
Not quite as
Because
good.
they're super
Now,
expensive.
if you're eating
and they're
like Russian sturgeon stem cells, okay, those are good. Those are the
okay,
best
okay.
stem
You
cells
are
you can get.
you are actually just confusing stem cells with eggs, just basic egg or caviar.
You use a little
like Russian caviar.
a little blunt knife, and you scoop the
Right.
the
Right.
stem cells onto a cracker, a Triscuit
Yes.
perhaps.
Yes. Well, while you consider the culinary implications of this new discovery, I'm going to talk about the medical aspects. Stem cells and induced pluripotent stem cells, which are other cells which are not stem cells, but which they can sort of turn into stem cells by poking it and, I don't know, taking it to a seminar and convincing it that it could be a stem cell. You know,
Sure.
it's like a Tony Robbins kind of
Shining
thing.
a flashlight and Morse code at it or something.
Yes, it's something along those lines. One of those.
Activate. You are activated.
Flashlights or Tony Robbins tapes, either or.
Number 8, you are activated.
And what they have done is they have turned them into primordial germ cells. Just like, you know, you take these stem cells and you can turn them into anything. You turn them into cardiac cells, like, you know, to fit the
Primordial-
heart, to, you know, the brain or whatever.
There's a really good soup you can make with
with primordial germ cells. Yeah, and it's
A soup that will create worlds.
you need lightning though to make that
Well,
soup really cook.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's kind of a pain in the butt, you know.
Really good soup should be cooked with lightning.
Ideally, yes.
Clearly.
So they turn them into primordial germ cells, and primordial germ cells can be turned into egg cells, which previously they hadn't been able to do. So we have these egg cells that they were then able to take out, transplant into another womb, another mouse womb, teeny tiny mouse womb, which then turned into mature eggs. They took those mature eggs, fertilized them with little mouse sperm, teeny tiny mouse sperm, implanted that fertilized egg.
That was the most fun part of the experiment, I'm sure.
Yeah, people were just having fun with those teeny tiny mouse turkey basters.
To get out the mouse disco lights and turn up the mouse.
No mouse had fun. No mouse had fun during the filming of this experiment. And then they planted them into another mouse, and they had babies. And the little mouse babies survived. Some of them did. They basically made mice out of nothing. Made brand spanking new mice.
Out of stem cells. So that's awesome.
And-
were the stem cells the same as the womb they were implanted into? So it was the
No.
let's say mother.
They took
The
stem
mother's
cells from
stem
some
cell.
other mouse.
Some stranger, some bum who
Yes.
donated their stem cells.
Yes, some
and
bum
then
mice. They pulled them off the street,
mixed
took
them
them
with
into
the-
little mouse sperm banks, and had them.
You can make a pretty good living. You can pay rent.
Sure,
You can
donating.
get mouse rent anyway. Donating mouse
Much
sperm.
less,
The
much
worst part though is that you can't drink, you can't smoke
Right,
weed.
right.
You
We're not talking about mice anymore, are we?
can't stab anybody on the subway. They will revoke your sperm license. So
we
it's
have-
it's a different dude or whoever stem cell, and it's mixed with an ovary cell and put into the sexy mother mouse.
There was no mention of sexiness. You put that
I'm
in all
embellishing
yourself.
in my mind this entire process, and then they're seeded by sperm.
Well, no, they fertilized them first and then put them into a womb.
Oh.
Just like, well, no, I'm sorry.
But there is still sperm involved. So
they turn them
there's
into
3 mice involved in making this new mouse.
Yes, but that was just as proof of theory. What can actually happen is theoretically you can take a stem cell from yourself turn it into an egg, reimplant
presumably
it
a
back
sperm.
in.
Can we not do that yet?
Yes, yeah, but the bigger, I mean, sperm are much easier to make, I think, than eggs.
What
So-
are the implications for gay marriage? Because does this mean a dude can take a stem cell and turn it into an egg, and then give it to his
That's what we're
hubby
getting.
to spank it onto?
That's what we're getting to. You can avoid sexual reproduction by creating the sperm and egg cells yourself, and essentially creating a child from that. Someone who has gone through chemotherapy and is infertile, theoretically you can get stem cells from them, induce stem cells in them, turn those into eggs, and someone can have a child again after that.
Is this a
So
conspiracy to
what you
make
could-
everyone gay and make women obsolete?
Yes.
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz. We are here with Quizmaster Lib, and we're doling out some science knowledge. We're dropping science on y'all's heads.
Chacho here with Chan and our guest Dan Banas, and we're about to do our first round of 5 questions.
We are gonna make a big old board, and all our guests are gonna be on it, and you're gonna wanna be high on that list. Otherwise, people will know that you're a dum dum.
Oh boy.
That's what this is all about.
Revealing the dum-dums.
We, for the record, Dave and I, dum dums, pretty
nice.
much dum dums.
I would say that we're 1-0 so far, crushing our guests.
Who won against Lieb? How did Lieb do?
We both beat her.
Cool.
She was
Although,
way
if
more
you-
entertaining than we
don't
were,
want-
though, so it was a
I
wash.
don't want to lose to Lieb.
If you ask her, though, she cheated a lot, so
Ah.
I think she thinks she won.
That's fair.
All right, Ebling, you got something for us?
Yeah, first question up. What does laser stand for? LASER, not LAZER.
So there's no zebra in there, right?
No,
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's an S, bro, though.
Are we all ready?
Oh, boy.
What is it, Elizabeth?
All right, laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emissions of radiation.
Oh boy.
Woof.
I almost got emissions.
Are we-
I wrote emitting and then I crossed it out. I wrote light activated shooting excited radiation. I did bad.
I think you're thinking of some laser porn that you may have seen. Is this all 5 points? If each word we got?
What did you get?
Light amplified. I said synchronized instead of what's the S?
Stimulated.
Stimulated. And I said
Stimulated.
emitting, and then I crossed that out and I wrote emitted, which is close
emitted too,
to the
yeah.
answer, which is emission, I guess,
Yeah.
and radiation. I got.
Yeah.
I just feel like a jackass that I didn't even get radiation. Like, that seems like the most obvious thing in the world. when
What did
think
you
of it.
write?
What do you got there?
I got nothing for R, really. I had low alternative sequence emitting roll.
It just kind of trails off.
We're all in the ballpark with the for the emitting.
Emitting. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we're all 0-0-0 right now.
Zeros all aboard.
Hit us again.
All right, next question. Why do stars twinkle?
I was like, are you- okay, what do we got, Elizabeth?
Stars twinkle because of our earthly atmosphere. The atmosphere causes streams of air which distort the image of the star. If we were in the actual planetary star system, we would not see them twinkle.
I
Wait.
put atmospheric disturbance between viewer and light source.
I put space
That would
dust.
work. That would work.
But I thought it wasn't atmosphere. I thought the atmosphere wasn't the correct answer because planets don't twinkle and they're outside of the atmosphere. So why do stars twinkle and not planets?
I feel like I never see stars twinkle except in like cartoons. That's the thing. But I put ozone
Maybe you've
gases.
never been
I
in
think
love.
that was like kind of in the ballpark.
Ozone gases. Are we taking that,
I
Quizmaster?
would take it. I would take it. It's still technically part of
Yeah.
the atmospheric gases.
All right, you
Okay.
get that, but just barely.
Just-
Space
I'll
dust
barely,
is
I'll
part of the
take it.
atmosphere, right?
Well, I think by its very definition, it's out of the atmosphere.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
I'm going to submit a protest of this question.
Denied.
Next question.
All right, I'd like you guys, whoever can write the most numbers of pi.
Ugh. Okay, I'm pretty sure that my last numbers are wrong, but I got 3.1415929, and then I wrote 2 sets.
Already wrong.
What was the last correct one?
2.
3.14159.2 is wrong?
Yep.
Okay.
No, that's correct.
Oh.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then the rest is wrong.
Okay.
Oh,
So I
the
got
two is-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 decibels out. What'd you get, Dave?
3.14159, and I said 6 instead of 2.
So you got 5
So I
out.
got 5.
How many did you get, Dan?
I had none. I had 3.142.
That's that's
It
2.
It is
Yeah.
the first one is 2.
No, 3.14.
Oh,
that
you
one-
got
I
three
thought you
digits.
meant
3.14.
past the.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
2 decimal places
Past the
out.
obvious
2 decimal
ones.
places.
All right.
2.
What is, give us
I know what pi is. I know that. Yeah,
Give us,
I have the-
give us the first 10, Ebeling.
Or how many
All right.
how many did you think we
Yeah.
could possibly get to? How many did you go
I
out to?
honestly thought at least 10.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Jesus.
So we
You've-
have 3.14159265335.
Oh.
Well, see, my next 3 were 653. So actually, and then I had a 2 at the end.
You
I had
almost
all
got
the
it.
correct
Close.
digits, but transposed the 2. So if this was Mastermind, this would be a great score.
Next question.
All right, what causes thunder?
Are you still writing out pi, Dan? All right, what is it, Elizabeth?
All right. Shock waves. Shock waves create sound waves, which we hear as thunder because as lightning strikes, it creates superheated air, which rapidly expands, cools, and then contracts, causing shock waves.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's the heat.
Yeah, I wrote
Yeah.
displaced air filling a vacuum caused by lightning, so it's not really.
I wrote ionic disturbance, which is
You wrote lightning.
sort of, yeah.
I wrote static electricity in air when warm air meets cold air.
That's actually the closest.
Kind of not
of the
that
three.
wrong.
That is technically the closest.
All
Does
right,
that mean
you know
I
what?
get it?
We're gonna give you that one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I keep getting the shitty one, like the garbage answers.
Hey man, whatever works.
Yeah.
Whatever works. We play slop. Last question.
What color should be technically called minus green? And for extra credit points, why?
Okay. Okay. All right. What's the answer?
Pink.
Pink.
Whoa.
Yay!
What?
I got one.
No. Oh. Oh.
I had a yellow because it's green minus blue.
And where did you learn that, Dan? From
Kindergarten.
some sort of Glad Ziploc bag commercial.
Oh yeah, no, I learned it from my sandwich.
Oh,
bags.
geez, I even screwed mine up because I wrote purple because I was thinking about the color wheel and I thought that purple was on the other side of green. It's not even that; it's red.
It's red.
But
Yeah.
I wrote white
Exactly.
minus green.
I wrote pink
Who
is.
got pink?
David.
What?
I did. I said pink is the absence of all green light. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And it's also a mix of the red and the blue light from both ends of the color rainbow, which our brain sees as a different color, which also incorporates infrared, different types of waves that are in the air. It's basically what we justify as all the different other lights that are out there in the world. It's a figment of our imagination. So whenever you see a girl wearing pink, they're totally just insane.
So
seems like there's symbolism in there.
that dress is not even actually there. Which is why that explains why I imagine it not there.
Okay, so
That's tough.
But that's an extra credit point for me, I think.
okay, yeah.
Wait, but you had Y? Oh, you did.
She
have
said
Y.
for extra
Yeah.
credit.
Yeah. And okay,
true.
well now that's crazy because the scores this round, I have 2 points, Dan has 2 points, and with that extra credit bonus point, you have 2 points.
Excellent.
So we are tied going into next
Anyway.
episode. So this is going to be
So tune back in. I don't know if it's tomorrow, but whenever the next one is, for the final verdict.
So now that the election's over, we know who won. It wasn't even a long, protracted courtroom battle. Frankly, I don't remember a time when that was the case anymore.
I feel sort of wistful for the old days of long, drawn-out 2-month elections.
Presidencies decided by the Supreme Court. Oh, those were the days.
Fat men in Florida beating down doors to stop voting from counting.
The big science story coming out of this year's election, though, is Nate Silver, a man who correctly predicted not just the election. He said that there was a 90.9% chance that Obama would be reelected, despite the fact that every news entity out there it's a horse race, it's neck and neck, there's no telling. Ended up being Florida just got counted for Obama, so I don't even know what the total tally is. It was like 305 to 203 last night, and I think how many is Florida?
I think Florida is like
Electoral? This is around
Yeah.
20,
Yeah,
I think.
I think that's a thing.
29.
So
right.
a shit ton.
Now, to be fair, isn't there some sort of octopus or something that also predicted the correct presidential outcome?
Well, yes, probably, without
I
a
think
doubt.
any like somewhat trained animal could pick one of two things.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
I did see there was a bird or a monkey or something predicted
Sure.
that the other guy, I already forgot his name. Who was the one that was running against
Doesn't
Obama?
matter. The robot.
The robotic white guy was going to win.
Well,
And so that bird is
One of them.
probably in a stew or some sort of roast with
Sure,
potatoes
sure.
right
Yeah.
now.
he probably can still do horoscopes, though, and make a decent living at it. Down there on Venice.
Did you ever see that one bird who he was like his owner taught him like how to think like a child? There's like a special
what? No,
was
what?
it like a Nova? I think it was that I saw this on.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
He
was
could
that
count
bird's name?
to,
Yeah.
and he could do math, like simple math. Like he had the cognitive abilities of a 4-year-old, we'll say, something like that.
2.
I remember that bird.
Yeah.
I forgot his name
It's
now.
like- yeah.
So, all for nothing, bird.
yeah.
What makes this special is that he's a statistician rather than a pundit, so he doesn't have any vested interest in there being a race that anybody would tune into a television show to watch. He's got a blog over on the New York Times website, but other than that, he just crunches the numbers. He made his name in sabermetrics, which is the thing that Moneyball is about. What sort of revolutionized the sport of baseball is you just
Wait,
use
is this the
actual
Moneyball
numbers.
guy?
No, it is not.
This is not the
No.
Jonah Hill.
No, this is not Jonah Hill. This is not Brad Pitt. But in addition to correctly determining who the president would be, he also got all 50 states correct. He correctly called all 50 states,
that
which is
I
an improvement.
can list all 50 states.
Can you now? Go,
I mean,
go,
well,
go. All of them.
Start from
all of them.
the Northeast.
if I have like a globe or something,
with the words on them. If I have all the abbreviations, I can get all 50 states.
Now, first of all, pollsters are supposed to be nonpartisan, or they used to be,
That's
but
the
it doesn't seem to be the
general
case
idea.
anymore.
No.
But it seems to be, there was a lot of hand-wringing about, like, oh, it's a close race, it's a horse race, it's going to
Yeah.
be... And all the numbers since October, to me, look like Obama had a pleasant lead that was never really in any danger.
Yeah, that's the problem, and this is something that, as a fan of professional wrestling, anyone who does follow professional wrestling sort of can see this coming. It's like if there's an enormous, huge guy and a teeny tiny, if there's a Kane versus a Rey Mysterio or whatever, yes, Kane versus Abel. Kane's going to win. Nobody's going to pay to see that.
Yes.
So you have to tell a story. You have to, you have to do something. So it seems
you have
like
a 24-hour news cycle. You have to have something to talk about for 24 fucking hours. So
exactly.
Yeah. I always said it seemed very obvious to me because it seemed like a race between one of the greatest living legends of all time and just a guy who nobody likes. It just doesn't really. It seemed obvious,
right? It was kind of a
also,
Hulk Hogan versus Leapin' Lanny Poffo sort of situation.
I mean, there's a high percentage of people that wanted the living legend out. I can understand that, but nobody seemed to really want Romney in.
No,
nobody wanted Lanny Poffo to be president,
right?
And even so, even the people that don't like Obama, he's still a giant, one of the biggest celebrities in the world. To me, anyways, it seems absurd that someone who's in his position, who's just become an icon, would be voted out of a public office. And maybe that's a bit cynical on my part. But
no.
Well, I mean, it's literally a popularity contest. So
exactly.
It has an effect.
If a high school popularity contest had an electoral college where everyone would vote for who they liked, and then these stoners would have a certain number of
the hillbillies
votes, and then and then you'd have the skaters would have a certain number of votes, and the cheerleaders would have their own.
I think the cheerleaders have way too much control over our electoral politics.
God, ain't that the truth?
That's our show.
That's our show. Thank you very much to Dan Banas for being here with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Again, where can they find you online?
You can follow me on Twitter if you're going to follow anything. It's just Dan Banas. I was not creative, but
Banas.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. There's no XX before or after.
Well, 6969, of course.
Oh, okay,
right.
sure.
No J's, no F's.
Find us at sciencejerks.com.
You can mail me at chacho@sciencejerks.com and Chan at sciencejerks.com.
Why don't you make it Dave at sciencejerks.com? Because nobody's going to be able to spell Chacho.
You can also email me at Dave at sciencejerks.com. That works as well. Either way.
Learn something, guys.
You could write some really offensive Asian-sounding name at sciencejerks.com.
And it will go to
that
me
will go to Chan.
The computer interprets that as the Chinaman sent it to me. All right.
If you email that Chinese guy. And follow us at Science Jerks on Twitter. And
we have a Twitter? I didn't even realize.
Yes.
All right.
And we will be back with Dan Banas in the next episode for the exciting conclusion.
Is that a thing that happens?
The ritual, the rite of passage.
Are you just making things up at this point? I'm trying to talk science, man.